Right, second building video. Um, this was filmed over probably 2 or 3 days. There's two parts to it. Um, the first part, which is what I'm doing now, the walls and also the basic shape to the islands, was done probably about Thursday. Um, but then also yesterday, I decided I wasn't happy with the size of the central island. So I completely took that out and made it smaller because yeah, I thought it was too big. So there is a bit of a cut in between, and also you can see between episodes I decided to put all the wool down into the floor so that it's not just on a flat bit above, and I just did that with a global mask set to sand. So yeah, and then I just copied the top bit and pasted it, jumped down a level each time, and kept on pasting it over and over until it took over the whole shape. So this is the island at the moment that I ended up redoing. Didn't end up being happy with how it looked. I thought it was too big in the end, but all the others kept the same size. So yeah. And by the time of recording the voiceover for this video, I've already built this island. This one's going to be where the Iron Golem boss will be. I haven't really thought of names for the bosses yet, but yeah, this will be where an Iron Golem boss goes. So it's like a kind of mining theme. So yeah, this what was meant to be kind of like a skull, it didn't really work out as well as I thought it was going to. Probably because I was doing the tops of the island so thin. But I mean, you can see it's kind of got a general shape, but all the gaps are way too big for it to be a skull. But I mean, it was literally a last minute. Oh, that literally looks kind of like a skull shape, so I wasn't really too bothered about it anyway. It's funny that I spent like pretty much the whole of the previous episode shaping the floor of this ocean, because you'll see when I make all the borders of the islands, or what you'd call them, I don't know, the slope offs to the islands into the water. You can't really see pretty much any of the original shape because all the slopes go out so far. Um, so yeah, that's what I start now. And I just did that with loads of cylinder tool. Pretty much all of the building for this was cylinder tools until I get to actually building it. But I mean, yeah, you can see it's just lots of cylinder tools going around, making all the slopes go inwards. Not a lot going on really. Uh, in hindsight, I wish that I'd made that hole there deeper because I wanted water to be in it. But considering it only goes like two or three, it's a bit more than that, like 5 blocks down, I didn't really want to put water in it in the end because I thought it would look a bit stupid. But yeah, doing this process literally took about 2 hours to do. I'm pretty sure this video's on 8 times speed. I can't see it because I've already exported it, so I'm doing the voiceover um, to the edited footage rather than having the footage open in the editor. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this was all 8 times, and it took me about a little under 2 hours to do all of this. gets really awkward when you get towards the floor doing that because you can't really do it at head height. So it makes it kind of really awkward to do. Like it makes it much larger as well, which I would prefer if it didn't happen like that, but it does unfortunately. So I'm really not sure how I feel on all the shapes of the islands. I mean, like the surface shapes I'm happy with, but I don't know how I feel about, all the parts that are going down into the water. It does look a lot better when there's water in it, but I don't know if it would have been better to do really steep slopes rather than really shallow ones. I don't know if that would have looked better for islands or not. Because with the skull one here, after I'd built that, I contemplated if I should start the whole thing again and do all the island borders like that rather than the really shallow thing. I asked a couple people's opinions, like to teleport in. That's why there was the cut there, and they said just keep on going as you are. So I did, and that's what it looks like with water in. I mean, that was just so that I could get their opinions on it. But yeah, it definitely looks a lot better with the water in. It was such a pain having to redo the middle island because I had to redo all of these little sloping parts. I pretty much just world edited out a whole chunk of the world and then redesigned the island. So I think you get the general idea of what's going on with the slope. So I'm going to cut out the rest of the sloping part until I get to reshaping the middle island. So you can see here, I'm just doing a / overlay glowstone. So that puts a layer of glowstone above all the blocks, and then I replaced that glowstone with I think it was 50% dirt and 50% air, and then I did another layer of grass over that, just so that it wasn't all just one block thick of grass. But yeah, and then you can see I'm just putting water in here. So that gives you a decent idea of how it looks with water in. I think it looks a lot better with water in compared to when it didn't. And then I'm just asking someone's opinion on it, and they said it's good. So here's where I start to reshape the middle island. So you can see I start to try and remove the island with the cylinder tool, but it takes a minute for me to realise I'm being a bit of an idiot doing it like that, and then I just welded it out a whole chunk. Um, at first I wanted to do it like this because I wanted to try and keep the original slopes to make my life 10 times easier, but no, this would have took way too long to do it like this. So you can see there I replaced all the blocks of quartz just so that I could, see exactly what's going on. And then it's there I decided to just weld edit the whole thing out. So yeah, I wanted to base the whole thing around a tree in the middle. And the reason I wasn't happy with the size of the island was because the tree in the middle would have had been so big that it would have looked stupid because it would have went like even way higher than the mountains. So you can see this one's a lot smaller than the last one. It also gives a lot more space for the bridges, which I feel like is a good thing because yeah, before the bridges would have been tiny. And you can see I'm having to do quite a lot of reshaping by hand here as well, because since I cut out the whole chunk, there was loads of loads of the inclines that didn't line up to anything anymore. So I had to remove all of them just to set all the around surroundings to a kind of basic, like, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, trying to set them all to something that makes sense, so that they can then so I can then make the slopes of the middle island and it not look stupid. And also, if you wonder what that blue block is there, that was just me marking where the ocean level should be, because I pretty much had that in my mind that if the ocean's too low, it would look stupid. If it's too high, it would look stupid. So I think that was like a nice spot where it didn't look stupid and it worked. In the end, I got one of the players to build the tree on the middle island as well, because I cannot build trees for my life. I mean, you can see there now, there is a trunk there, which looks bloody stupid. Um, but yeah. And then you can see I finally start to do the slope from the inside island again. I just had to get all the outside, all the surroundings fixed. Otherwise, it would look stupid. So now I will be putting the water back in. And then just have to fix water so that it actually goes down to the floor rather than just having one layer.